Shentu. So, Shentu is and was a really interesting idea when it started, and to be honest, it still is an interesting idea. You know, effectively, this is a crypto that's around kind of auditing. Now, and they've built their own chain and stuff off of the back of this. Now, some of the underlying numbers are pretty bleak. So we're going to take an honest look at where, how we can kind of expect this to do this bull cycle. And before I get into any of it, guys, if you're new here, this spreadsheet shows the first 26 coins that I did videos about on the channel. So in the videos, I showed myself buying up all of these coins. These are cryptos I thought would do very, very well and make a lot of money. You can see what they were all worth when I recorded my videos. These are the highs these cryptos hit around about 16 months on, and these are what your profits would have been if you'd have put $100 into those coins. 100 into each of them. In that 16 months would have made you over 123 grand. Now, that could be a house where you live, or it might not be half a house, depends. Now, we don't have 16 months to get your portfolio sorted. We're in a bull cycle right now. If you're not happy with the performance of your cryptos, have a look at copymycrypto.com. So that's the site I run where I share my entire portfolio with my members. So when I'm ready to buy or sell a crypto, I tell my members the crypto that I'm going to buy or sell and the price that I'm going to buy or sell at. This means my members get in and out of cryptos at the same price as me, so they make the same profit, but they don't have any work to do at all. And if you go onto my site, you'll be able to see some of the profits my members have made. You'll also be able to see some of my past successes. These are public record. If you go onto the old videos on this channel, you'll be able to verify it. And if after reading through the site, watching the videos, verifying it all, you really like what you see, you want to hear more. You want to hear my daily market updates, and you want to hear the coins that I think are going to be the big winners of this bull cycle, all you've got to do to find out about them is join up on the site, guys. Now, Shentu. So, been around a minute now, launched in 2020. In the previous bull cycle, of the 2021 one, it just shy of $4. Just shy of $4. Now, Shentu, the Shentu chain is a security-first delegated proof-of-stake blockchain. It's for the trustworthy execution of mission-critical applications. And that includes DeFi, NFTs, and autonomous vehicles. Now, they have prioritized cross-chain compatibility, and they were built with the Cosmos Hub, with full Ethereum virtual machine and Hyperledger Burrow compatibility. Now, it's worth noting, by the way, of course, if anything is built with the Cosmos Hub, it can basically, because it will have been built with the inter-blockchain communication protocol, it means it can connect with anything that has been built on there. Now, they have provided basically a lot of projects with the ability to sort of be aware of possible exploits, be aware of possible vulnerabilities. So across protocols, blockchain projects can receive security insights with the security oracle that Shentu created, which provides real-time guards of on-chain transactions. It identifies and flags a range of different vulnerabilities before they occur. And depending on the level of security score, audited blockchain projects of any protocol may be eligible for a Shentu Shield membership, which is a flexible reimbursement system for any crypto asset that's lost or stolen due to security issues. So it's effectively insurance, right? And they're open to all community members of these blockchain projects. So it provides a safety net to holders of crypto assets in case, someone hacks or an exploit is found. They use DeepC, which is their programming language, which is supported by the Ethereum Foundation, the Qtum Foundation, and IBM. DeepC works directly with the Shentu virtual machine, which is, again, compatible with the Ethereum virtual machine. So this basically exposes smart contracts and blockchain security information, which enables a huge way of checking through all of the smart contracts along with all the blockchain to assess and identify possible risks. The token itself, CTK, is the native digital utility fuel for the Shentu chain. So it pays for on-chain functionalities like operating the security oracle and the Shentu Shield systems. It pays gas consumption of Shentu chain, and it's used for voting on governance decisions. The security oracle itself is formed by a decentralized network of operators. Now, this in and of itself is a very, very good idea. Now, I've never been very particular pro audit. The way that the auditing system within crypto happens is a joke. Like, what we end up seeing is crypto projects that spend millions and millions and millions on auditing, and actually there are far more efficient ways for this to work. There is no reason that you require audits on each time, and you're spending 50 grand on an audit. There's just no reason for that. You could have, like, Web 2 systems still exist, right? You can have a company that operates basically as a security auditor, right? Where you just manage a project situation on a constant basis, just a monthly flat fee. It makes total sense. There's a company called Fidesium out there that does that. It's actually built by a couple of the guys that are outstanding at what they do. So if you're a developer, look at Fidesium, by the way. Now, in terms of what Shentu are doing here, I still think this is a good idea in terms of, if you integrate the security oracle with smart contracts, it can flag, it can possible malicious transactions, it can prevent, theft. There's a very good concept here. But we have to be honest about where they're at in terms of underlying numbers. Okay, so volume right now, daily volume's up 146%, so it's not normally like that. But to be fair, a couple million. It's normally a few million, so it's never usually particularly terrible. So I don't think it's in danger of delistings on some of the smaller exchanges, but I would argue that it's possible it could be delisted on a Binance in the future. Volume right now is majority on Binance, or at least, a third of it is on Binance. But Binance, they want a lot of volume, so that would be something I'd be paying attention to, because it's very, very possible if this starts languishing in terms of volume, a delisting could be imminent. Now, it is worth noting as well, if and when we see cyber attacks and Shentu are successfully stop any, that is outstanding marketing and advertising for what they do. So if you were to see a news piece where Shentu has stopped a malicious attack for a particular chain or a particular project, that would be a huge plus, and I'd be paying attention to that because it'd probably have a little spike in terms of price off the back of that. Now, negative-wise, the numbers aren't great here in terms of the chain data. So the chain data, transaction-wise, per month, 11,000 in Feb, and 7,750 or so across across March, sorry. And obviously we're in April. But numbers aren't great. Numbers aren't great in terms of transactions. So this isn't like a heavily used chain, nor would I suppose, expect it to be, given what their overarching aim is. Now, it is worth noting there's some pretty good yield. You can get 32% yield here. They have an inflation rate of 10%. As you can see, about half of the about a third of the tokens that are circulating are staked. If you have a look at staking, as we can see, you just pick your validator. It's very straightforward, and then you decide how much you want to stake. Let's say it's 1,000, and then it'll tell you what your fee will be, etc., etc. Very, very, very straightforward. And then you just claim on a constant basis. In terms of where they're at, as I said, the whole thing is provable trust for all. As a concept, like I said, not bad at all. They've got an open bounty for both Web3 projects and white hats. White hat hackers, I'm sure will participate in some way, shape, or form. Overall, I do think it's a little underdeveloped for where it should be. But it also isn't meant to be this kind of open, huge project. It isn't meant to be this thing like a Solana. They have a very specific purpose. What I would want to see is them really starting to promote what they do, how they do it, who they support. Because actually that is very valuable. That's good advertising, that's good marketing. And that would be a useful way for them to really push on how they're doing things. Now, underlying numbers, because they're not great, I'm not overly bullish on this. I also do think, I think there are quite often days where the volume is very, very weak for a coin that's on Binance. To be fair, look at that. That's a day where it's 260 million. So probably not going to get delisted, right? In terms of where it can go, this bull cycle, I don't think it's beating its previous high. Although if it stops a massive hack and it can market that and share that, that's huge. Plus, that'll probably rally very, very nicely off the back of that. But you can't really bank on that. And in terms of overall transactions and usage, it's clearly not, flying. Again, nor would you expect it to be, but it's not great. So I'd be looking at this for $1. Maybe a couple of dollars. I don't think it's going to touch its previous high. I think it's too far away from that right now. And I think, to be honest, given its current sort of underlying numbers with usage, holders and stuff, I don't think there's enough enough wiggle room for this to rise dramatically. So maybe $2 at a peak. I don't think it's going to do much more than that. It's an interesting idea. I'm more interested to see who they work with long term, because that's really something they should be sharing more and more and more and more. But I'm curious to hear what people think about this. If you're a long-term Shentu holder, what do you think about the projects? Like, obviously, before they launched their coin and sort of built the Shentu chain, they were an auditing firm. So they have revamped. They are pushing in different directions than they initially did. What are your thoughts about it? Let me know in the comments. And guys, look, we're in a bull cycle right now. If you're not happy with the performance of your coins, if you don't own any cryptos, have a look at copymycrypto.com. That's the site I run where I share my portfolio with my members. When I'm ready to buy or sell any crypto, I tell my members the crypto that I'm going to buy or sell and the price that I'm going to buy or sell at. This means my members get in and out of coins at the same price as me, so they make the same profit. The added bonus is they don't have any work to do at all. Now, go onto my site and you'll be able to see some of the profits my members have made. You'll also be able to see some of my past successes. These are all on the history of this channel, so you can verify them all. Now, on the site, like I say, read through the site, watch the videos, verify it all. If you like what you see, if you want to hear more, I give daily market updates. If you want to hear about the coins I think are going to be the big winners of this bull cycle, like I predicted with Phantom, when no one was talking about it, all you've got to do to find out about the coins I think are going to be the winners is join up on the site, guys. And if you do, I'll see you there. Otherwise, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy. Bye-bye.